What's going on, guys? Welcome to the episode of the Raw on Netflix podcast. I am your host, Ricky Valero. On today's episode, we are going to break down the most recent episode of Raw. This is the 11th episode of WWE Raw on Netflix. It was in Brussels, and we had the return of the one and only John Cena, who is coming to answer all of the world's questions about why, kind of. As always, I am joined by my podcast partner here, Mr. Dom Fisher. How are you, buddy?
Finally, Ricky and Dom are back on the podcast, and you're gonna get what you're gonna get.
Yeah. So
yeah, man, this is an interesting one, man. And I think I have a theory, right? As we see how the WWE TKO has multiple brands now. We have TNA that's slowly bleeding into everything else. We have NXT, we have Raw, we have SmackDown. And the only thing I can figure out with our gripes and complaints of the past couple episodes is Monday must be like starting chapter 1 or 2. And the reason why the rest of the week gets better is because in a book, the middle and end of the book get better. That's the only thing I can come up with because I think we're getting shafted a little bit.
Yeah, and it made it even more abundantly clear when we heard Seth Rollins specifically say, I heard CM Punk and Roman Reigns are going to be at SmackDown, so I guess I'll have to go to SmackDown, to which that segment, I'm not even going to go there yet. We'll get there because again, so we had 1, 2, 3, 4 matches on the show, which seems to be a running theme. You're getting 4 matches, and then of course we open with the promo that everybody's been waiting for, right? The John Cena promo. The crowd was loud on both sides. Let's go Cena. Cena sucks. This went on for a hot minute. Again, I'm going to point this out every single time something like this happens. Logan Paul, please watch this clip, okay? Because that's how you didn't even pick the mic. He put the mic down, pretended to walk out before the anything. So,
and shout out to this crowd, by the way.
Yeah, the crowd was
hot. They were so good.
Yeah, massive bigs up to them. But he picked it back up again. They started chanting, "You sold out." He attempted to leave again. This entire thing. Now, let me explain something. This entire exchange between him and the audience was better than everything that unfolded after that. And let me explain something. I almost wish that he would have just left.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how awesome of a moment would that have been if he just, you know what? I'm tired of listening to you dumbasses. I'm not even going to say a word. I'm going to walk right out the ring.
This is what you deserve, and then dip off.
Yeah, exactly. Boom, put the mic down. We move on to another city. Like, that to me had more impact than I'm not a baby face or a heel. I'm a human being. I didn't like that.
Yeah, and what I think I noticed is it doesn't happen with everybody. But as he kind of continued, there was some level of truth to what he was saying. Like, I think he was speaking somewhat from the heart. It wasn't just, oh, it's his heel Cena. It was like he feels some type of way a little bit about certain things. I'm sure in his mind to reach this point to where he was giving us, where he has like goosebumps on his neck and his face is turning red, and I think there was a little bit of holding back some tears, because if you did have a career for 20 plus years where you are like the crowd is chanting your name in a positive manner almost all the time, to the F you, like, it's got to feel different. It's got to sting a little bit. And we all know John Cena is like a really cool guy. So to have this turn and people embrace the turn so much, like, I know he had to go back a little bit like, hey man, this kind of sucks, bro. Like, I don't know if I like this, especially because the kids are in the crowd. Like, he pointed at me and I was just like him. I'm sad now.
Yeah, it's funny. He pointed at the kid and said, "He's not. It's kid." WWE champion. That was kind of corny to me, but I will say the only thing that kept this segment alive for me was the crowd.
Yeah.
Crowd really, like, stood it up there, and let me explain something to you, and I'm gonna say this loud, and I'm gonna say this again, like, yeah, Cody came out, crowd was super hot for him. I think the crowd obviously would have been super hot for anybody that came through that curtain because
Yeah.
John Cena was out there doing his thing. Um, so let me ask you one question. If someone beat the shit out of you in the middle of the ring, the way that John Cena beat the shit out of you, Travis Scott smacked the dog shit out of you, we whooped you with a belt in the middle of the ring. The next time I see you, are we just gonna walk up and stand in the middle of the ring together like nothing ever happened?
No, it's on site. And as we saw with the ladies, they reference a similar situation where they got disrespected and they're like, we're gonna handle it right now. But Cody was like, I'm gonna see you in the future.
He still got the black eye. You know what I mean? Like to me,
Yeah.
it doesn't make any sense to me for him to get in the ring without wanting to destroy. He said what everybody's like, "Oh, we want to hear your reply." His reply, the no remorse, the fans' fault. The crowd chanting was like, kind of going through. The fuck you seen the thing was hilarious because it was like only quote unquote furthering his point in that moment. I love that they started the fuck you seen it and then they try to bleep it out after it was like going on for like 5 minutes,
Yeah.
which was hilarious. But to me, why am I not coming out and beating the shit out
Yo.
of this man?
Yo.
Like, this man beat me down to a bloody pulp.
Even should have interrupted him, not like come out gracefully, but
Yeah.
interrupt
Or
him.
if he comes out, he hits the ring and Cena comes out,
Yeah.
and then they conversate. You know what I mean? But there's just something to me that felt missing. And I understand that, I don't know. And then all of it for him to say he doesn't want to wrestle this whiny bitch and then drop the mic and left.
And the fact that it was 30 minutes long.
Oh my God, dude. It was the longest segment of my entire life. You can only imagine that there's other matches on this card, including first of all, only other matches. There's only ever 4. Like that Dakota, and we'll talk about the Dakota and Ivy match. That was like 3 seconds long.
Yep.
Like it lasted a commercial break. Jey Uso and Austin Theory, that was like a drink of a sip of
Yeah.
drink of a you. If you drank something or you bend down to pick something up, the match was over, type of thing. So I don't know, man. I've seen people praising this Cena promo, and there's elements that I love, but I don't know, man. I'm not here
I
for it.
think more of it for me was not even what he was saying, but it was the looks on his face. And I
Yeah,
think the reason why we've gotten to a point where we don't have as many great orators in wrestling like we used to is because the promos are too fucking long. They
yeah.
used to not be 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes long because now at this point you're having to reach and make up stuff and repeat yourself so it doesn't hit as hard. So when you get those short 3-minute promos of talking shit and then walking off, it hits a little harder because we know what you're feeling, so you don't have to say all these things. You say, I think you're a little bitch. You sold the fuck out, and I'm gonna beat your ass. That's it.
And the perfect case example is like the whole Uso Jay versus Gunther thing. None of those promos have ever lasted really long,
Yeah.
right? It's been quick and to the point. Hey Jay, you're not built for this. You know what I mean? You suck. You're a failure. All of those things. And sure, it might sound like the same thing over and over again, but it's like a mind game thing. But it only
Yep.
lasts like 2-3 minutes.
Yep.
One of two things happens. They're about to attack each other and they're getting separated, but like the point is driven every single time. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. This segment being 30 minutes long, I was like looking down at the time. I'm like, can we please finish this? And I don't
Yeah,
know,
because this is
man.
what I did. This is what I did because I most of us didn't get to watch it live. We had to watch it, the replay. And I first thing I did was I was trying to check how long it was. It said an hour and 47. I said, cool. I won't even speed through it or anything because it's a pretty short runtime. And then I looked down and I was like, that was 30 minutes. What are they gonna do now? Like
That was like
it's
hour 15 for the rest of the show.
yeah.
Yeah. So And then speaking of, we had Penta versus Ludwig. The crowd was kind of mild at first for Penta
Yeah.
for his entrance, but then I think they got into it a little bit. There was some weird chants going, and they're not weird. Maybe they're chants to their to their nation or country or whatever, which they didn't make any sense. I wish somebody would have explained to me what the hell they were
Yeah.
chanting, because I
Yeah,
had
me
no
too.
clue what the hell anything was they were saying. For this being a quote unquote no holds bar, this was weak sauce,
I
man.
know. I was so disappointed because I was like, "Oh, they're gonna get into it," but with this long ass promo, maybe it cut into what this match was supposed to be. Because I was like, "Oh, no holds barred. Oh, they're gonna get busy. We're really gonna see like where Penta came from and
Right.
what Ludwig is capable of." And
Yes.
we only got a fraction of it.
Yeah. Like it. I'll tell you what, man. The one thing that scared the hell out of me was Ludwig almost took that finish right on top of that chair leg, man. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, solid match, right? For what it was.
Yeah.
I wish it was a little bit more leaned a little heavier into the brutal and violent aspect of being a no holds bar. Match ends. Penta wins the IC title, which the idea of Braun versus Penta is not appetizing me at all.
Yeah.
Like that
Yeah,
match,
because Braun is outclassed at that point.
like,
Like,
and no, I mean, we'll talk about it later, but he was outclassed in that main event too, but we'll talk about that later.
and I noticed too, Penta's getting better on the microphone. I don't know how much he
Yes.
got to talk beforehand, but
Yeah.
in short weeks, he is
Improving.
passing other people because he knows, like you said, he doesn't have to say a lot.
Nope.
It's Penta's time. This is my belt. I'm coming for it. And then you're like, oh, fuck yeah. And then he does his
Ooh,
settle.
so
Yeah,
hot. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. And
It's
then it's
great.
over. And the crowd
Yep.
goes crazy.
Yep.
Like, and again, you're right. And picking that up is like, that's the effectiveness of short, sweet, to the point, make my point, I'm coming for you, Braun type of thing.
Yep.
I do think it was hilarious that Dom wanted to,
Add
add
to the
Penta
Judgment Day.
to the Judgment Day, which obviously made Finn mad.
Oh, and right before then, before he said that, I've been watching Cross for a couple weeks, and he was in
Yeah.
the background when Dakota was coming out stretching. He's in the background talking to Dom, and then cut to, we see Dom say, "Hey, I have this idea." And if you notice, Cross is wearing a shirt with like a puppet master thing. So I guess that's his thing now officially. So it's going to be interesting to kind of see what he's trying to do.
I love the thing that I found about Cross is wearing something to match I don't, did I send this to you?
Mm-mm.
Oh my God, dude, I have to find this. Like, this is going to take just a second because I found this Facebook thing. I might have been on Facebook or something about Cross, and it was actually one of the coolest things I've ever seen. But I don't
And
know if
is he actually going to wrestle at some point?
right. Maybe I'm not gonna find it right now, but it's actually pretty cool. And if it's done the way that it is, carry in. Let's see here. It's carry on, right?
Carry on Cross, yeah.
Cross mind games. Let's see what we got here. Let me see if I can find this. Yes, here it is. All right. Let me see if I can do this. Screenshot it. Look, we're getting modern technology right here live on the show for you, ladies and gentlemen. And somebody saw it. I'm first off, whoever saw this, you have too much time in your hands. But isn't that how everything is in life? You know what I mean? Like
Right.
somebody always has too much time in their hands and they find cool shit. So if you take a look at this, and if you're listening at home, it's going to be on the live on the podcast here. If you're listening, or it's going to be live on the thing here. But what it is, did you notice it? Cross often mirrors his hairstyle with his target in a subtle yet sinister tactic, making their confronts a dark reflection of themselves. So like every time, like his hair is back here, like Sami Zayn, his hair's back like Sami Zayn's. His hair's long with AJ Styles. His he's got the thing here. Whatever, it's like,
I dig that.
you know what I mean? Like
That's a good pickup.
it's a great pickup. You know
And
what I mean?
I saw somebody else do this something similar with Finn in the Judgment Day, where in the background you see what looks like Finn's old character, like the demon looking
Mhm.
one. There's been a
Yeah.
picture in the background of the room the past couple of weeks, and we've been talking about the kind of descent of the Judgment Day, where there's this rift between Dom and Finn kind of being by himself a lot. So maybe he's gonna go back to that point.
Yeah, exactly. So I really like the idea here. And so when I saw that, I was like, man, that is awesome. Like, and first off, congrats and whoever picked that up. But like
Yeah.
that's dope as shit. You know what I'm saying? So all right, moving along here. We got Dakota versus Ivy Nile. Whatever, man.
I know they they had to speed through this so much, and you know, I I, I feel like Ivy is a good wrestler. I just feel like she needs to be with a different group because I feel like you know, because of how Kurt Angle worked it perfectly, Chad does it perfectly, but like more people added to that kind of straight laced vibe, it don't work. It
Yeah.
doesn't work with the group unless you're so over the top, kind of like when when Shane McMahon and all his boys had the sweater vests and khakis. Like that shit works because it's kind of this over the top thing.
Yeah.
But like American Made, just it don't do it for me at all.
None of them do outside of Gable. I like Gable. If I never see the LWO again on my screen, I'll be the happiest person in the world. I don't care about them. I don't care about American Made outside of this whole Chad Gable thing. Him coming out and like hitting the, oh no, he does it later. Never mind. Sorry. We'll talk about that in a minute. Dakota won, caused the distraction. She hit the GTK, wins the match. Right person won. I'm not mad about that. Just mad that Ivy Niles continuously getting matches. No offense to Ivy Nile. I mean, again, she's not terrible, but she's just not fitting into where there's just so many talented women on the roster. I feel like she's like kind of consuming a spot from somebody else. But
Yeah.
it got Dakota a win, so that I can't be too mad at that, right? Can we talk about the fact that we were not graced with the entrance by Bianca? That made me mad as hell.
Dude, also, I
One
get
of my
so
favorite thing about her is
frustrated.
is
Yeah,
her
it sets the
entrances.
energy for the moment.
Yeah.
And they keep on skipping these entrances because of these long ass ads. I don't know what they keep doing. Because I think watching the replay, I feel like I only saw 3 entrances. It might have been Cena's, Cody's, and Seth Rollins. I feel like that was all we got to see, really. And Penta.
Yeah. I just want to ask a question. Can Montez Ford fight?
Man,
Because Bianca,
I
man,
know.
she looked great on that thing. But
I know.
all right, so again, I was pissed off we weren't graced with by the entrance by Bianca. Crowd love. Io Sky is over like Rover, man.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and I'll tell you what, her promos are interesting to say the least. I like that they're keeping it short and sweet. Just like get the crowd going. It's hard to kind of, and I think that that's I think why Ray is involved in Bianca a little bit. It's weird because all 3 of these ladies are kind of over. So it's like all 3 of them
Yeah,
are her baby
I know.
faces. So there's like no real quote unquote heel in this element.
Yeah.
Um, the lady signed her contract, and then here comes mommy, who looked fine as hell too. And then she heads down the aisle to come share peace of mind. And then we got, Rhea Ripley just decided, Io got pie faced again. Man, Rhea's headbutt to Bianca, that was, and it might not have connected, but it looked like she took her damn head off, bro.
I know.
Like for real. And then that power bomb, was the table supposed to? I want to know, was the table supposed to break?
I was wondering that too. And I was like, that probably really hurt because the table did not collapse. And I was trying to look at the leg and see if it was like, nah, it just was solid as a rock. I don't know
Yeah,
if that was supposed
because
to happen.
when she power bomb Io on top of Bianca and that table didn't break, I swear, man, my ribs hurt for
Yeah.
Bianca. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But what we predicted this last week, we said this last week, they're gonna turn this into a triple threat. So Ripley signed her name on the contract, left with the contract in her hand. Obviously, Adam Pearce is running around like his chicken, head with his chicken cut off or whatever, chicken with the head, whatever the fuck that quote is right now.
And I want
Whatever.
to
I'm
know.
tired.
I want to know if anybody, when Mia's walking back, walking down the aisle with the contract in her hand, and she kind of points it at the camera. I wanted to I didn't have time, but I wanted to pause it and try to see if I could zoom in to see if it says anything legitimate or not.
Right, exactly. Does it even have, it just says something on there about,
Yeah, because it could be
Dom,
anything.
Dom eats corn the long way or something. um, Next match, Jey Uso versus Austin Theory. The crowd was wild for Jey, who almost died in this match, post-match, because he did a dive and didn't make it over the top and almost killed. Everybody in the locker room, the main people, watched that and held their breath because it was like, oh my God.
He got up and he was like, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah. Everyone in the back was like, oh my God, please don't kill our, guy that's, main event mania, please. It was fun. I mean, this was 3 seconds long. It was what it was.
And it was look, that would have been, if they would have really got to go, that was gonna be a good match, man.
Man, I'm so mad they
it was this building up, and then I was like, yo,
it was 1, 2, 3. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I was in it because I was wondering why he pinned him right then. I was like, bro, that was just a crossbody.
Yeah.
What are you doing? And then, oh, that's it. Y'all getting 20 seconds.
It was so weird. It was that fast. It was over. Gunther came to attack. Finally, Jey gets the upper hand here. Held the belt high in front of Gunther. Can I tell you how much I hated that he threw the belt? Can I tell you how much that pisses me off as a former wrestler? It's something that you're striving to win. You know what I mean? So that kind of irritates me. The right thing happened here. Jey needs to have some moments where he's getting one up. You know what I mean? So I don't hate that. We still have 7,000 years until WrestleMania anyway. So the road to WrestleMania is feeling as long as this year's Oscar season is. You know what I mean? That's what that's what it feels like right now. And then we get a great match between the American Made and the LWO that could have been cut completely, and we could have had Austin Theory and Jey Uso actually have a wrestling match.
Yeah.
I will say I'm calling him the American Ninja Warrior. Came out. Chad Gable with the mask on. I love the fact that he's using luchador moves. It's actually hilarious.
And the funny thing is he still kind of has that dumbfounded look on his face when he stands there and he's kind of do they know it's me? I'm like, bro, we know it's you.
He comes out and does his suplexes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was hilarious to me. The LW won, and I don't care. Please.
I know Dragon Lee looks really good, but of course he doesn't get mic time. You don't get to really know who he is. And Ray is if you why don't you replace, swap him and Penta? I don't know, man. I feel like he gotta, to make me really feel feel the way about you want me to feel about LWO like I did with NWO. You gotta spice it up a little bit. You gotta make them a threat, and they don't feel like that. They just feel like a get back crew. Oh, you heard us? Well, we're gonna find you later.
Yeah,
no, you need to be a threat, man.
Yeah, they're like a stepping stone right now. The thing about it is the New Day walked through them, and now they're stepping stone for Chad Gable to use his new thing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's what this is for. Seth Rollins came out. Crowd was hot for him. They sang a song. This promo was a complete waste of my damn time.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I low-key don't know what he was talking about. I zoned out.
He didn't say anything. All he said was Roman and Punk are going to be on SmackDown. I'm going to go over there. That's literally the point of the whole story. And I don't know I don't know. There was no time to fill because you done made Jey Uso and Austin Theory's match 30 seconds long. And then, I don't know. And then
I legit, I watched him to the intro of him coming out, and then I checked out.
Yeah. I was like, cool, man. This is going on way too. This could have went to this other matches on the card. Where are we at? But man. All right. So this was my idea. Main event. Braun Breaker. Finn Balor. I was excited to be like, you know what? Let me see. Let Braun prove Ricky wrong. He didn't do it. When that dude, this was like a 15, 20-minute match almost. It was a long match. He can't wrestle these long matches, man. He can't. Because,
No.
like, he gets blown up. He starts, it starts getting wiry. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. I don't see, like, again, I think we said this before. Like, he needs a tag team. He needs his
Yeah.
dad had a tag team partner. Like Rick Steiner was never Scott Steiner. It wasn't until later in his career when he came to Big Bad Booty Daddy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Until that part of his career. And the only reason his career, Scott Steiner's career, went the way that it did was because he could talk on the microphone.
Yeah.
Like, dude was awesome. Like, if you go back in time and watch some of those promos from Scott Steiner, they're classic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they're all classics. You know, when he came out with the blonde hair and the goatee, you know, he was a bad boy. Rick Steiner never had any of that. And Braun Breaker doesn't have any ounce of charisma in his body.
Right. And this is why I have the perfect gimmick for him.
I'm ready.
And it's because of something he said in one of the promo videos. He said, the locker room, or he said, I'm the hunter, the locker room is the hunted, right? I just watched that subpar movie, Craven. Give him that Craven persona. Put him in some kind of similar vest and show off his muscles. And, you know, you don't have to do a whole bunch of talking, but make him out to get everybody. Like, let him lose the belt, right? And then let him be the guy like, oh, like Denzel, I'm leaving here with something where he's just attacking everybody. He's hiding in the shadows. He's fucking up in the Raptors. He's underneath the ring and he's just attacking everyone for no reason because he wants to take out the biggest and the best guys, right? And it gives him a cool look besides all the dog barking, which he can still keep because Craven is a hunter and an animal, so he can incorporate all these different things, a lot of different looks, and it also gives them a marketing tool, shirts and gear and all these things. So I think they need to go some kind of route like that. And just the fact that he said that felt perfect.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I am so at the point of something. Give me something other than what we're getting. Watch, this was like his chance to, like, you're putting on a title match. Title matches aren't 5 minutes long. When you're just facing people and you can run them down and beat them up a little bit, you can't, like, the Penta versus Braun Breaker thing just does not make any sense to me.
No.
Like, that's not going to be a good match because Penta's fast. We're moving around the ring like boom, 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 boom.
And can you make those flips that he's going to give you? And
right? Can you take those bumps? Can you get back up? Can you run around? Like, Penta can wrestle too, but like the thing about it, that's not what he's working with right now. So, like, to me, it doesn't make sense. This is the route we're going, and it's so weird to me because we have shifted what Braun Breaker is going to do like 5 times. Like, where's AJ Styles at? Like, AJ Styles, like, we had a face off between these two that led to nothing.
Yep.
Finn's involved. Finn, you know, that the reason that was there, obviously Dom fucked up, didn't cost Finn the match.
Yeah.
You know, we'll take it at that. But Dom Carlito beat down Braun. Penta came out to make the save, which was fine for what they're setting it up. He grabbed the IC title. They faced off again. If this is what we're building to, my only thing here is this: do the Judgment Day help Penta win the title?
Right.
To help maybe try to recruit him. You know what I mean? Like, I understand he came out, he beat him up a little bit, but that doesn't matter. You know what I mean? We're gonna get to bring a title into the Judgment Day. You know what I mean? Like, but
and to your point with Braun better get it together, like this, a gimmick or something, because I just watched that match with Moose from TNA and then Obafemi from NXT. Dude, they're bigger than you, they move better than you, and they put on a fucking show. Like, these are main card guys. So, like, anybody who's not pulling their weight or making an impact, like, y'all better step it up because these dudes are
There's guys waiting in the wings.
Yeah.
There's guys waiting in the wings. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, overall, just I I don't know, man. This was kind of a underwhelming episode. You know what I mean? Because to me, I don't really like. There was no real good matches. Like Penta and Ludwig felt like it was gonna get good, and then it seemed like it lost time. And then the rest of them, like Dakota and Ivy Nile, was short. Jey Uso, Austin Theory was short. And then, of course, American Made vs. LWO. Who cares? And then Braun and Finn, like again, like this is like, and I mean, you're giving Braun like the main event of WWE Raw, and it's just. I don't feel like he performed where he needed to be, but I don't know, man. I'm optimistic. I just feel like you're right. Like when you watch clips, because we're only covering Raw, you know what I mean? We're not watching the other shows religiously, but it's almost like we're getting like Raw is getting the short end of the stick. And it's like at some point in time, Netflix is going to come in and be like, hey, we spent all this money. Yeah. Like I saw somebody say, I can't believe how hot WWE is right now because the writing of the show is so bad. And I'm like, it's really being glossed over.
Yeah.
We've spoke on this podcast many of times about how this show has not been great. There's been 2 or 3 out of the 11 episodes we've covered that have been good and like one that was great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like I would like to see and I think the big problem is we're spending so long building up to Mania. We have 3 more Raws until Mania now. So
yeah, something like that.
Because it's the 12th and 13th, right?
I think it's the 19th and 20th.
19th and 20th?
Yeah.
Oh, that's even worse. So
I just kept thinking 420 weekend.
So I don't know. 1, 2, 3,
I don't know 4. What that is though.
It's Easter weekend. But yeah, so if it's the 19th and 20th, then we have 4 more Raws until that means we got 4 more incidents with Jay and Gunther, which no offense, like I'm excited about the match, but I'm kind of over that too.
And my thing is if you have a belt, they need to shuffle these people around on different shows more often. Because I feel like a lot of the Raw people go to SmackDown, but no one from SmackDown comes to Raw. Tiffy's got a belt. Chelsea, we haven't seen in a while.
Yeah, aren't the tag team champion? The tag team. Oh, okay, never mind. That's Liv and what's your name?
Well, and then you have Montez and his partner. They just won the tag belts from DIY. SmackDown. Yeah, so it's like
I wish they were on Raw, man. I like those guys.
Yeah, I feel like you gotta shift them around. Like because since they're the champions, let them parade that they're the champions. So they come to Raw for an episode.
Why are all the Raw guys going to SmackDown, but none of the SmackDown guys are coming to Raw?
I don't know. Dude, it pisses me off. I don't know, especially when you've made the Netflix era. Because that's what this is going to be known as, right? Yeah. We had Attitude. We had, what was the something aggression? I forgot what it was called. And then now, we're in the Netflix era. Y'all better step that shit up before this gets known as one of the worst eras.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how things unfold. I can't wait to see next week on Raw. We don't have anything. I don't think they have anything really set up for next week because on Raw, normally we try to have a little bit of setup, but they didn't really promote anything for next week.
I think the only thing I saw, and I don't even know if it was, I want to say it was next Monday, it was A-Town Down versus Jay and somebody was the only one that I saw, or that I remember seeing at least. And I don't know who Jay, I'm sure Jay's going to partner up with either Otis or Akira. I don't know who else he's really tight with recently, and who's worthy of like this kind of small tag match.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't know if somebody maybe had a 317. That was this week's Raw. So yeah, they don't have anything up really what's happened on next week's Raw. But yeah, I mean, obviously we'll be covering it. We might have an episode out right away next week, as I will be traveling, but we're going to figure something out to make sure to get the episode out to you guys, share our thoughts, and hopefully some turning of the pages over the next few weeks in hopes of things turning around for us. But that is it for this week's episode of the Raw on Netflix podcast. Thank you guys so much. We'll be back next week.